We going double trouble today, you heard me? It is the last stream, man, you know what I'm saying? I reported the shit, you know what I'm saying? That was the latest going on in the boxing community, but you know what I'm saying, for the most part, it was like, I wasn't really feeling it like that, man. I was like, man, I want to talk about something I just want to talk about. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, I still wanted to get that out, because I feel like it was important information. Especially, you know what I'm saying, if you were interested in those fights. You interested in those fighters, you interested in what they got coming up. So it's like, I still wanted to get that out there. But at the end of the day, man, I still want to talk about what I want to talk about. And this is the topic I want to talk about. So I'm going to chill out for a minute, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go crazy with it. Y'all can rock with me if y'all want to rock with me, it don't matter. I'm going to go crazy with it. You see, I got the jacket on this time, you know what I'm saying? It got cold, man. It's cold in here. You see, I'm more hyped too, man. We're going to talk about it though, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people think it's crazy that people are predicting this to go 2 million pay-per-view buys. But a lot of people don't know, man. The first fight did actually really good numbers. And if you don't know that, you're going to know it now, because I'm going to break that down to you guys. I'm going to show you guys the actual numbers to it if you guys don't believe me. So you can give me a little bit of time and let people come up in here, you know what I'm saying? Join the chat if you want to. We ain't going to start just yet. At the end of this song, most likely I'll start, or maybe I'm going to throw another song on, then I'm going to start on the next one. But y'all see the topic. Can Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury 2 surpass Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz 2 pay-per-view numbers? Please throw a like, throw a subscribe. It means a lot. We going to number 2. We hitting them with the number 2. I hit y'all with the regular news. Triple G is going to be fighting March 28th for Sarah Zameta as is mandatory. And other things as well. If y'all want to know more about that, y'all check the last live stream I just did. But this one we talking about what I want to talk about. So y'all rock with me, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody though. Go ahead, throw a like, man. You know what I'm saying? Throw a like. If y'all not subscribed, go ahead, throw a subscribe. I always do things like this. I want to hear y'all opinion on it too. If y'all not rocking with me, get in the chat. That's young Wilder right there, boy. That's a young bull right there. See that? That's that big man game. Take up the ring, you know what I'm saying? All right. So I want y'all, I'm like, check this out real quick. Right here. This is from young Bob Arum. This is from the first press conference, or I should say from the first fight, and from the press conference from the first fight between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder.
I can't see why that fight won't equal or surpass the numbers that were done on the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. There are two little guys, great fighters, Mayweather and Pacquiao. It was built up for a lot of years. But
so he's talking about the rematch between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder can potentially be bigger than the actual fight between Manny and Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather that they had. Now they had about, I think it was like 2.7 million buys pay-per-view. Now obviously most of us believe that that's not going to happen, but also remember recently, now that was from a while ago, that particular video. Recently Bob Arum has said Wilder Fury 2 should gross 2 million pay-per-view buys for this particular fight. Now a lot of people are going ahead and dismissing Bob Arum's claim on this when it comes to this. A lot of people say that's ridiculous. The last fight didn't even get that many pay-per-view buys. A lot of people go off of, oh, it only got barely 300 to 400K pay-per-view buys, so how can you even suspect it? It's probably barely even going to get 1 million, right? Well, what's interesting to me is that people don't necessarily check their facts. And it would help a lot of people out if they check their facts, or at the very least check their numbers. Now this isn't about the numbers particular live stream, so That's not what this is. But we are going to break this down, and we're going to show why what I'm saying is factual. And what I'm saying is there is a possibility that Wilder versus Fury 2, it may not get 2 million, but it has the possibility of getting a million pay-per-view buys. Why do I believe that? Now, it's going to come down to the promotion, right? It's very close to the fight. It's about to be a month, basically. We've only had one press conference. The press conference didn't do much for really anybody outside of the hardcore boxing community. So that's not a good sign, right? So we're going to have to see a lot of things ramped up, or a lot of things going in fast forward motion if they want to get the pay-per-view buys that they are projecting. Now, the particular topic that I'm talking about, this is only based off the if it can surpass Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz 2 pay-per-view numbers. I'm not going for 2 million, but just to surpass, does it have the possibility of surpassing what AJ versus Andy Ruiz did? Yes, it actually can, and we're going to get into that. How is that a possibility? Well, that's going to be something I'm going to be talking about right now. Now, the possibility of that happening is because people don't understand how well Fury versus Wilder 1 did. And the reason why people don't understand that is because when people look at the pay-per-view buys that go into the first fight, they only look at what it did in the States, rather than looking at what it did in the States and also what it did over in the UK. You have to combine those numbers, right? Because, excuse me, when you look at the AJ fight, AJ versus Ruiz, you're doing the same thing. All right? So, and a lot of times they don't realize that you have to do that, and then that's how you get the combined number. A lot of people are looking at one number, then they're saying that's how much it got. So there's a possibility, and I'm going to get into that because the reported number, as you can see here from this article, is 325,000 for the Fury versus Wilder first fight. Now, that was in the States. And that's just a fact. We don't have the number yet from the UK. Well, we do have the number. I'm going to show you. I just haven't shown you yet, right? But I'm going to show you the number, and then you're going to be able to put that together, and you're going to be able to compare that to not only the first fight AJ versus Ruiz did, but also the second fight. And you have to remember, too, the AJ versus Ruiz 2 fight, they were in a position where they could promote themselves. And how can they promote themselves? They can promote themselves just in a position that AJ was supposed to be the guy that everybody said was unbeatable, and you know the narrative that they were going to. Look at how AJ's built. Look at how Andy Ruiz is built. There's no way Andy Ruiz could have beat him. He ended up doing it, and so they just kept rolling with that narrative. So for the most part, for that particular fight, it sold itself, and that is an anomaly when it comes to the Anthony Joshua legacy. When it comes to his numbers, as in watch pay-per-view buys, because you're not going to see a spike in numbers like that unless he's maybe fighting, a big name over in his area. Because when it comes to him himself as a draw, he tends to do about 300 to 400K pay-per-view buys when it comes to UK, and that's just a fact. He usually, but when it comes, if you throw a Klitschko in there, you know what I'm saying, then you got the Andy Ruiz, and you get the 1 mil pay-per-view buys, and we're going to break that down. We're going to show that, but that's just the reality of it. A lot of people don't want to accept that because they don't want to look at the numbers. They go off of the word around town, the rumor. They believe that's fact, but it's not fact. And I'm going to show you why it's not. Excuse me. Hopefully everybody is enjoying their night, man. I am, man. It's just cold, man. It's cold out here. So I appreciate y'all rocking with me, man. Throw a like. It helps out the channel. Subscribe, man. Because what we do here, man, and what I want to keep doing, I report, obviously, the latest fights that's going to come up, things you might be looking forward to. But also what I do is I like to break down certain, if not controversial topics in the boxing community, but I feel like misrepresented topics, I guess you can say, or misrepresented situations, or misrepresented ideas. Because when it comes to this right here, it's like, yes, Bob Arum is doing what a promoter should do, right? They say positive affirmation, right? You put it in the air, you say it, you say it over and over, and then it becomes a reality. You know what I'm saying? Even Deontay Wilder speaks on that when he does his speeches. You know what I'm saying? Speak it, believe it, receive it. Promoters do that all the time. You know what I'm saying? Even with the remember I was talking about this in a live I did the other day about the YouTube stars, right? A lot of people believe KSI versus Logan Paul 2 did 1 million pay-per-view buys, but that's actually a lie, right? A lot of people believe that they generated all this money when but in reality they didn't, right? A lot of people in reality they didn't even do more than like 200,000 pay-per-view buys. I think they only did about like 220 or something like that. But a lot of people think they did about 1 million pay-per-view buys. So really it's like if you put something out there, especially in today's age, people aren't willing to really look it up or look into it to see if it's right or not. They're just going to take it for face value, and they know that. And that works beautifully for combat sports. That works beautifully for promotion, and so they work off of that. And so Bob Arum is doing that as a promoter. Wilder vs. Fury 2 is going to get 2 million pay-per-view buys. Probably not. Can it beat Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz 2? It can. Fluence, you're doing the same thing, right? No, I'm not. I promise. Why am I not doing the same thing? This is the first thing right here. ESPN Fox joins forces on Wilder Fury 2. Now see, I love doing this shit. I love breaking it down. So I'm going to let y'all appreciate this, right? I'm going to let y'all appreciate this. I'm going to run this back right here, boy. Right here. Right here. A lot of people gonna think Bob is old. He is an old man.
Pacquiao, it was built up for a lot of years. Fight. There are two little guys that were done on the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. There are two little guys equal or surpass the numbers that were done on the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. There are two little guys, great fighters,
equal or surpass the Mayweather. You see, got hella downvotes because people are like, you crazy, all right? Obviously, you got to build up your fighters. Nah, we don't believe that particular statement. If you believe that particular statement, you ridiculous. But does it have the possibility to surpass the numbers that I'm talking about? And that's the Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz 2 pay-per-view numbers. I guess the first thing we should do, or at least it's not the first thing because I've been talking about this for a minute. Hey man, shout out to you, Anthony Willis. I'm glad you up in here, man. I'm hyped. Hey, I did a stream earlier. It's about current events. So if y'all want to know about any current boxing news that's coming up, that's the last stream. But this one is about something I want to talk about. And do I believe Wilder versus Tyson Fury can surpass Joshua versus Andy Ruiz 2. So, and let me know how y'all feel too, man. Throw it in the comment section. Go ahead, throw a like. Let's get it popping, man. But the one, so let me show this real quick, because we need to know what's the actual number AJ versus Ruiz 2 did, because there's been reported numbers that has been as high as over 2 million. That's not true, okay? You see here, worldboxingnews.net. I love worldboxingnews.net because in my opinion, I feel like, now it takes a minute for them to come out with the latest shit, or at least to come out with recent articles, but when they do come out with it, it's something that you haven't heard about, and it's also something that, in my opinion, I don't want to say controversial, but it's something that you really won't see on another boxing article. So this is the real when it comes to the pay-per-view numbers for Anthony Joshua, because it was reported as high as 2.3 million. It was breaking all types of records. Official figures released on Friday of 1.5 million on Sky Sports box office were suddenly amended by the British Broadcasters Honest Research Board. Initially, it was thought that the Ruiz Jr. rematch had overtaken Joshua vs. Klitschko in 2017 by a mere 8,000 buys. It's since been revealed Joshua vs. Ruiz 2 eventually did, but only a week later. According to BARB, Joshua vs. Ruiz 2 made only 1.28 million purchases on Fight Night as of 256,000 buys were recorded the following week. Furthermore, 35,000 views can be added for the rest of December. All in all, Joshua vs. Klitschko is still ahead at 1.53 million. In second place is Joseph Parker's effort, opposite of AJ, at 1.5 mil. Overall, though, it was claimed Joshua had slightly extended his own benchmark at the top. The fight maxed out eventually at 1.57. So AJ vs. Ruiz 2 did end up beating out Joshua vs. Klitschko and Joseph Parker vs. Joshua for 1.57 mil. So that's the number that Tyson Fury vs. Wilder is chasing. There you go, Anthony Willis. He already know. There we go. That's the correct number, 1.56 mil. I just reported at the same time. So that's the number that Wilder versus Fury is attempting to break. That is the reason why you hear Bob Arum talking, hey, we're gonna get 2 million buys, more than 2 million buys, because it was reported. If you go to the general public, if you don't go to a hardcore boxing fan, if you go to the general public, they're gonna assume that Joshua versus Ruiz did about 2 million pay-per-view buys, even though that's not the truth, right? In reality, this is the amount they did. So why is there a possibility that Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury can do either close to this amount, more to this amount, or less to this amount? Me personally, I believe they can either do close to this amount or more, because there's a misrepresentation of the Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury 1 pay-per-view numbers. You have to remember, the U.S. pay-per-view is $74, basically $80. Okay? We understand that overseas in UK, for US dollars, is about $32. I believe in pounds, I think it's $25, $26, something like that. So there's a substantial price difference. Okay, so you have to remember that. So when we're looking at AJ's pay-per-view numbers, we're looking at them just in the basis of UK numbers. We're paying $24.99 for a pay-per-view. So if we go over here, now I'm gonna go over here. And remember, this may not, yes, that's UK buys, yes. With AJ versus Ruiz 1. Oh no, that's 2, my bad, 2. Because that's a UK pay-per-view record. So that's basically kind of what I'm getting at. So yeah, you already ahead of the game, Willis, and my bad if I'm a little bit late, because my shit a little bit delayed. How you know how this shit goes. So you go over here, ESPN Fox joins forces on Wilder Fury 2. This is the reason why this is a headline, because this goes into the sentiment of Bob Arum saying he's gonna do more fights with Al Heyman, simply because, and I kind of spoke on that in the last live stream, because of this particular fight right here. The first fight was so successful in their opinion, or at least in Bob Arum's opinion, publicly, because he's the only one who really speaks publicly. Al Heyman really doesn't. He's willing to do more fights like this, but in his mind, what he's saying is it's a different reason, but that's why I think it is. But anyways, so we got ESPN Fox joining forces. That's a big deal right there. That's a lot of money in itself. So if we're going to be looking at the numbers for the second fight, Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury 2, official for BT Sports Office on February 22nd. So we have to remember to count in the numbers that are coming from BT Sport box office, because for the original numbers we had about 325,000, I believe, originally for the Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury 1 pay-per-view, but that's only in the US. So that's at an $80 a pay-per-view buy. So here we go right here. This is ESPN. Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury fight generates 325,000 pay-per-view buys. So that's at about $80, right? Pay-per-view. So I'm like, if you want to even that out, it's hard because this is all speculation, right? But if you want to even that out with what AJ versus Andy Ruiz 2 did, and I don't even like to go there. Let's not even do that, because that's 1.2 million. Let's go something that's a little bit easier to even with. All right, Anthony Joshua, because wouldn't this make more sense? Shouldn't we compare the first fight with the first fight? We shouldn't compare the first fight with the second fight. That doesn't even make sense. So we're going to compare the first fight of Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury with the first fight, Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz Jr. And as you can see here, they did 403 pay-per-view buys. So it was very close. Because I'm here and I'm off, right? I'm comparing, like that's a false equivalency what I'm doing. So you can see here, both of their pay-per-view numbers are on par. And really, if you want to look at the reality of the situation, if you want to look at the price points, Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury 1, it technically did better than Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz 1, because of the price points on the pay-per-view numbers. Now they both did. Now see, the thing we're gonna have to look at is what they did outside of their potential markets, because this is in their potential markets. So what I'm gonna need to look at is Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz Jr., their pay-per-view numbers in the U.S. If you were able to buy it in the U.S. If you weren't capable of buying it in the U.S., which I don't remember off the tops, I know you were able to buy it in the U.S. and you were able to buy it in the U.K. when it comes to the Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder fight. But let me look real quick. So I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna say Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz pay-per-view numbers in the U.S. If you guys are in here, go ahead, throw a like, subscribe if you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, and drop your opinion on here, okay? So you guys can see right here. You guys can see what what I got up right here with the results from what I just typed in. I'm gonna go to Fox Business. But you see here, like, you see everything I'm looking at, you see nothing in particular is telling me what they were sold in the US. You're going to be surprised, Anthony Willis, actually, because this is why the whole point I'm having this live. Because a lot of people don't know the numbers Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder did in the UK. And this is I'm kind of giving it away a little bit. Go ahead, throw a like, please. Throw a like, subscribe to the channel if you're on the channel right now. Yeah, a lot of people don't know what it did, so I'm going to talk on that. And you can see here, I'm having trouble. I can't find the numbers for what Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz won in the U.S. if they did anything in the U.S. But we know they did 400,000 buys in the U.K. So we can go off of that. And we can go off of that Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury 1 did 300,000 buys in the U.S. But we know for a fact Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury 1 also had pay-per-view buys in the UK. That was a number I was able to find, people. It was very easy too. I just typed it in. It just popped right up. Here it is. So it's 300, 325 here. Oh, wait. This was illegally streamed. This is actually, I didn't even want to get into this yet. So act like y'all didn't see this, right? I didn't want y'all to see this, right? Because let me go. There was something in particular I really wanted you guys to see. Okay, here it is. I don't know why. Okay, here. This is what I'm going to show y'all. Actually, real quick, everybody that's rocking with me, real quick, before I even show y'all that, I'm gonna be right. Give me a couple minutes. I'm gonna be right back. Watch this real quick. I'm gonna be right back. Give me a couple minutes. I'm gonna be right back. Cause it's gonna be some. It's gonna fuck everything up. I'm gonna be right back. Man, my bad, family. I had to use the bathroom real quick, man. That's how you know you getting this real time. But you know what I'm saying? I didn't want to leave y'all bored or nothing. Okay, here we go. Right back. I told you I'm going to be right back, so I'm going to throw that on for y'all. But I'm right back. Y'all, if y'all in the stream, y'all ain't like, go ahead and like it, because I'm about to rock all y'all. If y'all don't believe Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder doesn't have a chance to surpass what Andy Ruiz versus AJ did, I'm about to fuck all y'all up right now. So Anthony Willis, you said, where the pay-per-views in the USA or the Zone? For Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder, they were in the USA, and they had pay-per-views with BT Sports. So this is why I showed This right here. So BT Sport Box Office, okay? So it wasn't with the Zone, but it was with BT Sport Box Office. AJ versus Andy Ruiz, theirs was with the Zone. Okay? And it was with BT Sport Box Office as well. And that was the total number from them. But I can't find a number when it comes to if they had the pay-per-view in the US, right? But see, I actually like, because y'all saw me try and look up, because it says here in the Andy Joshua versus Andy Ruiz pay-per-view numbers in the US. I couldn't find it. I actually had it ready already for y'all when it came to the Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder pay-per-view numbers, but it's not up. But watch how easy this is. Look, see that? It's already in my shit. Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury 1 BT Sports pay-per-view buys. All right, see, yeah, see, he's trying to play me right now. Hold up a second. That's not. This isn't it. There's a particular number I'm trying to show y'all right now. I don't know why it's trying to play me right now. I had it ready for y'all. Because I'm like, that's the legal streams. I want to show you guys that, but I'm going to type it in myself. How about this? Let's do this. So I guess it is a little bit hard, like Andy Joshua. Okay, y'all got me exposed. All right. Give me a second. But I'm telling you, man, I had that number for y'all, man. Okay, so this is what it's saying. Fury vs. Wilder pay-per-view buys. Despite Frank Warren's original claim that the revenue would be split 50-50, it was revealed that if the fight generated... So this is if the fight generated... How many... Okay, here we go. This one we want to go. No, because this is just showing me the U.S. I need the UK pay-per-view buys, okay? And I had that, and I don't know why it's not coming up for me, y'all. Rock with me. I'm telling y'all I'm going to get this number, because I had this number for y'all to rock the whole world. And it's trying to play with my emotions. Let me see this. Because they had like about 4,000 pay-per-view buys, I want to say. I might move on. If I can't find it, man, I'm just going to go ahead and take this L. But I'm telling you, I have found... Yeah, now it doesn't want to show me the pay-per-view buys for the BT Sports. Here we go. Let me see. Let me go to Independent Co. Alright, if y'all rocking with me now, shout out to y'all, because I just found a number, man. I was out here struggling, but we here, baby. So I know y'all see this. This is 450K buys on the BT Sport pay-per-view. Alright, this is from BoxingForum24.com. Liam Patron, what's happening with you, man? Came at the right time, because I just came with that goodness, man. So we had, so the 300,000 that was surpassed in the US, it does not pertain to what we got in the UK. In the UK, it's reported to be, and see, I'm trying to get a specific number from what we got over in the UK, because over here we're getting 450,000, but this is 450,000 buys on BT Sport pay-per-view. So if we have 450K buys on BT Sport pay-per-view, plus the 300 and, let's just say 300,000, it's about 325,000, but plus 300,000, that's 750K. So it's not a million. So that's the number. I know that's right, because that's what I had earlier. I don't know why it's not up now. That shit just must have been closed down. But that's the number I'm aware of, man. Man, chilling, man. We out here just talking about, see, people, don't realize, man, Patron, that Wilder versus for Fury is gonna do a lot bigger numbers than people want to admit to. But I had a legit source for y'all, because a lot of y'all might not really, you know what I'm saying, fuck with that source right there, and I would understand. But I had a legit source for y'all, but for some reason it's down. But so I'm not gonna go through all the source and really have y'all suffer through me trying to pick that back up. But at the least, just imagine 400,000 buys on BT Sport pay-per-view. Because you got to remember, if you have if you have the opportunity for both platforms to be so you're potentially saying that Fury versus Wilder did better. That's number one. Fury versus Wilder did better when it comes to the pay-per-view buys than Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz won. Or at least, at the very least, they were on par. If you just want to talk about in the UK, if you want to talk about in the US, I'm having trouble finding US numbers for AJ versus Andy Ruiz. If it was, if you could even buy it in the US, which I'm not sure. I didn't buy it in the US when I watched it, the first fight. So, and you have to remember the price differential. You got $80 in the US in comparison to about $24.95 in pounds over in the UK. I think that's about like $35 or something like that, $32 in the US. So, you're telling me if this fight did potentially over 750,000 pay-per-view buys in the first fight, Fury versus Wilder, it can't surpass what AJ versus Andy Ruiz 2 did? And remember, if y'all in the chat, man, please, or if y'all in here, period, throw a like, subscribe if y'all ain't subscribed, man. It means a lot. It helps it out. And let me know y'all opinion on the situation. But you telling me there's not a possibility? Listen to this, man.
That fight won't equal or surpass the numbers that were done on the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. There are two little guys, great fighters, Mayweather, Pacquiao. It was built.
He said it's going to surpass Manny Pacquiao versus Mayweather. Now, I'm not saying that because that was astronomical numbers when it comes to what they did. But the possibility for the rematch to surpass what AJ and Ruiz 2 did, look at this. Don't believe in the hype. There was a confusion. There was no records. There was a record broken. This was his highest grossing pay-per-view over in the UK. But remember, it was only in the UK. You could not buy this pay-per-view in the US. It wasn't a co-promotional deal with PBC, with Fox Sports, with Showtime, and BT Sports or DAZN. It was just DAZN and BT Sports. So when we're looking at these numbers, guys, you have to keep in mind that we're looking at only in the UK when it comes to Joshua Ruiz at 1.57 million. Right? So there's a possibility if the first fight, Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder, did 750,000, it can beat that number. It's going to be hard, though. It's going to be hard. Why? The promotion so far hasn't been that good. I agree, Willis. I agree. That's why I say it does depend on, because if you guys watched the first press conference, it wasn't, in comparison to the first fight, it seemed like there was a lot more buzz in the press conference when it comes to someone who may have not been a hardcore boxing fan. Now, if you want me to be 100% honest, I don't think it's even going to get 1 million pay-per-view buys. Unless there's going to be a different tone set into the build-up to this fight. The tone set to this build-up to this fight has been, in my personal opinion, AJ's number one. We both know AJ's number one. There's no reason to try and act like we are number one. So we're fighting for the opportunity to take that spot. So there's no reason to even embellish like there's anything else to it. That's the vibe I get, unless something changes, and I don't see it changing because we're literally a month away. We're 4 weeks almost 4 weeks out of the fight. So we had our first press conference 4 weeks out of the fight. So it's gonna be hard to beat that number. But I think if they did, if everything that led up to the first fight was what happened with this fight, they could beat that number. But I do believe because of The promotion, I believe, because it's like, in a sense, we've been there, done that. Especially when it comes to the first fight and went all 12 rounds, I think it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to surpass that number. It's gonna be a hard number to surpass. But if there's one thing I want to throw out, is just there's a misconception to the first fight as if it did low numbers or as if it didn't do good numbers. It did great numbers. It almost did 1 million pay-per-view buys. But it's gonna be hard. What do y'all think on that, man? What do y'all think? Because a lot of people laugh when it comes to Tyson Fury, and a lot of people laugh when it comes to Deontay Wilder's drawing power. But Deontay Wilder has better drawing power than a lot of people think.
This is the biggest heavyweight fight in recent history. Here we go again. Shots fired, I'm going in. Sending them over and over. He's up. This fight is a draw. Bring him on!
Wilder Fury 2, February 22nd, on pay-per-view.
The question is, how hyped is the people for this fight? How important is this for the community? Are people as interested in seeing Deontay Wilder lose as they are in seeing Anthony Joshua? Because I think part of the reason why we saw such a big number when it came to because I'm gonna stick to it to this day, that was an anomaly when it came to the Ruiz versus AJ 2 fight. I feel like more people tuned in to see AJ lose than they did to actually watch the fight as a boxing fan. And that kind of goes into part of what Anthony Willis was talking about as well, right? AJ brings more casual fight fans, but I think obviously it's the look. But also, too, when you see someone like that who was propped up on a pedestal to never take an L, and he took an L, think about how many, did y'all see the trailer for the AJ versus Ruiz fight, man? They had all these celebrities for it, all types of shit. Like, that's an anomaly in my opinion. So I don't think we'll see numbers like that from AJ unless we see an AJ versus Wilder, right? Maybe an AJ versus Fury. All three of these fighters know that. But even with that being said, you know what I'm saying? You can't take anything away from AJ. That's the position he's in.
Hey, this is Tyson Fury, aka the Gypsy King, the lineal heavyweight champion of the world. Wilder, you want to show up tomorrow, you little bitch, and not shit yourself like you've been doing for the last year or so. Don't want no part of the Gypsy King, do you? You're going to get smashed. Tomorrow, I start living in your head rent free, you little bitch. See you there, don't be late.
So my only problem probably with this whole fight is just the fact that the promotion is being lackluster. That's just that's been my only problem. What's good with it is Sniper, man. We're debating the fact, and you know, I'm probably a little late, you know what I'm saying, a little behind, but we're debating the fact if Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury 2 can actually do better numbers than Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz 2, because, you know what I'm saying, if you look at the rumors, Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz 2 did crazy numbers, right? But in reality, it only did a little bit. It still broke records. It did break records, as you can see here. Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz 2 UK pay-per-view record confusion. It broke records. It did 1.575 million. Joshua versus Klitschko did 1.58 million, but I think it ended up leveling out at 1.59 million. So it ended up being the most bought pay-per-view in the UK, but we have to realize that was only in the UK. Okay? When we talk about Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury, 300,000 pay-per-view buys in the US, 450,000 buys in the UK. That's about 750,000 pay-per-view buys, maybe even 800,000 if you want to get the numbers correct. So very close to the mill. So there's a possibility that it could surpass Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz 2. Will it? The promotion, that's where we're at now. The promotion has been subpar. Right?
defeated. The biggest puncher in the last 30 years in boxing, and for me the best boxer, actually best boxing brain, best boxer, probably since Muhammad Ali, in my opinion. Both undefeated. Controversial fight last time round. We all thought our man won. This is a mega fight that's going to break box office records.
Yeah, I mean, after that first fight, now that was...
So everyone believes is going to break box office records. No one would have expected AJ versus Andy Ruiz to break box office records. How would it done? How good would it have done in the U.S.? That's a question still to be answered because we don't know that. It's a whole different animal when you're in the U.S., right? So let me say this: Andy Ruiz. Because the thing about Andy Ruiz versus AJ, the reason why it's hard for me to find numbers it did in the U.S. because most likely you couldn't purchase it on pay-per-view in the U.S. because I don't remember it being a co-promotional deal, right? That's why this article is so important by Forbes, right? ESPN and Fox joined forces on Wilder Fury 2, right? That's why that's such an important article. That's why this is such an important article. Deontay Wilder vs. Tyson Fury 2 official for BT Sports. You can find these things. The zone, in a sense, it does count as pay-per-view, but in a sense, it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to really, like, the zone is trying to do something different in the game, right? But as of now, since we really don't have, like, anything to measure it with, we would have to say, yeah, okay, we can count that as pay-per-view. But the zone doesn't release its numbers, right? The zone doesn't release how many subscriptions they gain when they have a particular fight. So the only thing we can go off of is the numbers they give us, which is the BT Sports box office, the Sky Sports box office, right? So they have Sky Sports box office, they have BT Sports box office. Both of those are pay-per-view, so those are the numbers we go off of. And so that's all we can utilize. Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury, they gave us numbers in the U.S. because, as you can see right here, you had ESPN and Fox join forces, but then BT Sports box office also got joint forces. So we can at the very least measure the tool of, okay, they did this good in they did get this good in the UK, they did this good in the US. In the US for the first fight, they got 300,000 pay-per-view buys, right? At the very least. In the UK, they got about 450,000, or let's say 400,000 buys, pay-per-view buys at the very least. So all in all, Tyson Fury versus Wilder 1 did 700 to 800,000 pay-per-view buys, right? And then when we look at the AJ versus Ruiz 1 fight, in total, they did about 403 pay-per-view buys on Sky, and that's Sky box office. We don't know what they did on BT Sports. They probably did around 400,000 buys on BT Sports, right? So about 800,000 buys. So they're on the same numbers as Deontay Wilder versus Fury, even though there's the misconception that Wilder and Fury is so much below, or at least the hype for the fight or the want for people to see it is so much lower than just watching AJ in general. Like, that's not true. People want to see this fight. I just think the promotion for this fight has been a little bit disrespectful. Because if you look at the first fight, I feel like the promotion was crazy. You know what I'm saying? They all these press conferences and interviews, like they was really building it up. But for this one, I'm like, we about to have this fight in a month, and there ain't been much to it when it comes to the promotional factor. No, they wouldn't buy that. They wouldn't buy it. Like, if you're a subscriber and you bought the subscription to see another fight, they won't count that towards, let's say, AJ versus Andy Ruiz is about to happen. They're only gonna buy subscriptions that happen during that fight or views during that fight. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, if you subscribe to that particular app, or, you know what I'm saying, if you just subscribe to that channel, but you don't view that, like the same thing with YouTube. If you subscribe to that channel, but you don't view that video, you know what I'm saying, it's not gonna go toward that video's benefit. You feel me? So it's the same thing. Like, they're only counting who subscribed to the channel when that fight was gonna happen, or they're counting who viewed the fight while they were already subscribed, you know what I'm saying, during the fight was happening. Like, that's the only way they don't collect their stats on it. And if y'all if y'all here, man, go ahead, throw a like, man. It means a lot. If y'all ain't subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Hop in the chat. Let me know what y'all thinking, man. If y'all got any thoughts on this particular topic, man. If y'all think I'm tripping, y'all think man, Deontay Wilder, man, he weak. Let me know, man. Let me know. But in reality, man, I'm showing y'all the numbers, and the numbers is realistic, man. It is what it is. Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, they have the possibility. They can break records. They can, if they had the right promotion. But the promotion so far has been subpar, and that's my opinion. Let me know if y'all disagree on that. I'm like, you have everyone saying they have the possibility of having one of the biggest fights, but the promotion has been subpar. DAZN can count it, but the thing about DAZN is, are they going to release it? Because the thing is, if DAZN decides to release how many views they're counting, then people are going to start asking, well, how many subscribers subscribed? You feel me? They're going to start asking more questions. Well, how many of those viewers actually viewed the whole fight, or how many people just clicked on it, watched it for a couple seconds, and then they went on? You know what I'm saying? There's so many people, there's so many ways to manipulate that stat, so that's why DAZN just, you know, I'm not even gonna show it. They would, yeah. If someone saw on leak, they're gonna count all the views. All the views are gonna count, even if, say someone doesn't necessarily watch it for a long period of time. All those are gonna come into play, but obviously, how long the person's going to be interested in it is going to come into play also. You know what I'm saying? That's all money for them, because we're talking about streaming, right? It's a whole different game. So a subscription is going to go, it's going to be a month, right? For the most part, depending on if they have a deal or something like that. But for the most part, if they're saying, all right, I'm going to subscribe to this app for a month. All right, so that's money in their pocket, right? And now when you're subscribed to their app, they're going to put in their database what you're viewing, how long you're viewing, and what you're interested in. And that's how they decide, okay, this is what they want more of. This is what I need to give them. Maybe I need to fix this. You know what I'm saying? That's how they configure everything. But they're not going to release that to the people, and that's the power of having an app in comparison to pay-per-view. That's why they say pay-per-view's dying. It's the same thing. Like pay-per-view's kind of like cable TV now. You see, when it comes to TV shows and things like that, all that shit is going to apps and streaming services now. You don't really see nobody young really shit. You know what I'm saying? You don't really see nobody. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? In our generation, you don't really see nobody watching cable that much like that anymore. Most people are either on streaming services for the most part. They're on the internet watching YouTube. So it's the same thing with boxing, and that's what DAZN's trying to do. DAZN's trying to turn. They're trying to get away from the pay-per-view buys. And they're trying to. That's what, and that's why I need to do this goddamn live stream when it comes to Eddie Hearn is basically trying to do what Dana White's doing with the UFC, because the UFC has successfully done that. They got signed by ESPN. They're on ESPN Plus now. ESPN Plus is specifically an app, right? You can still buy pay-per-views through their app. But for them, pay-per-view buys doesn't matter anymore, right? They get paid basically the contract they get paid like they get 400,000 pay-per-view buys every pay-per-view. So for them, numbers doesn't matter anymore. And so that's kind of what DAZN's trying to be on. Pay-per-views don't matter. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to get a subscription base similar to ESPN Plus. So that's why it's a little bit different. But boxing, they say, is old school for the rest of their life. So yeah, so it's snipers. Okay, my bad. I was going on a little ramble, so hopefully y'all still listening to me. This goes right into this article right here. I'm gonna show you guys. Here's the huge number of people who watch Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury on legal streams. This is on Forbes. And remember what I told you guys about Forbes. Forbes is one of the most solid sites to go to if you want to know how many people watched a particular fight. If you see numbers, if you hear a rumor and you want to know it's true, whether it's about how much they're paid or how much people watched it, Forbes is the place to go. Fact, Anthony Willis, is all about the subscriptions. All about the subscriptions, exactly, because it comes down to sponsorship. Because it's now YouTube based, and YouTube is all about sponsors. So that's what they're Basically, that's how they break down to what they are. So you can see here, even though they're saying, now this is just in the US, 300 to 325,000 people bought the fight on pay-per-view. But if you want to count how many people illegally live streamed this fight, 9.98 million people didn't pay to watch. So we had over 10 million people illegally stream Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder 1. So they don't make any money from this. But that also shows you why people are moving away from pay-per-view. That's how much money they lost. So what happens is when you move over to being just a subscription-based type of platform, is what you say is, fuck it, I'm gonna take the loss where I know people are gonna legally stream my product, but I know if I get them to subscribe to my product for a month, that's going to work for me in the long run, rather than getting their, you know what I'm saying, $70 off the back, right? And it sounds a little bit ridiculous if you're from the US, because obviously we pay, you know what I'm saying, as you can see, $74.99 for a pay-per-view in comparison to, that's why DAZN's really a deal. DAZN, what you pay for DAZN and the amount of content you get, and for what they pay their boxers, that's why a lot of people hate on them. And that's why a lot of people try to say they're going to go bankrupt, but that's why a lot of people say there's no way they can stay in the business, because it is hard. It's hard to see like how in the long run it's going to work. But that's also why I told you I'm going to go live on why DAZN is taking the same route that the UFC did when it came to after the UFC sold from the Fertitta brothers to the WME. You saw, you know, Brock Lesnar came back. You saw CM Punk fighting. A lot of people were like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just have to draw eyes, and you have to make sure you get the money that you want out of what you're putting in, because you have to pay back what has been invested. And that's what you see going on with DAZN, with the YouTube side of the game, okay? And that's all it comes down to. Even though I've told y'all, the YouTube fighters, the YouTube boxing game, if anyone wants to tell you that's profitable, if you in this chat right now, you go back and tell them you slap the shit out of them, because that shit is not profitable. They're not doing good numbers. They ain't never had over 1 million pay-per-view buys. That's not true. That shit barely did over 200K, so that's not profitable. It's gonna take over because these young kids, man, you know what I'm saying? It's too easy to get free shit. It's too easy to pirate shit. It's too easy. So that's why a lot of people are moving to streaming services, because at the very least you can get money from them monthly. You know what I'm saying? Rather than just that one time, because if you're just asking for that a large sum of money from someone for that one time, it's always going to come down if the person is interested or not. Whereas if you see one good show on a streaming service, you might be like, here's my $10, right? And what happens with a lot of people is life happens, and you don't even realize you've been with that streaming service for a fucking year. You know what I'm saying? And so that's now the mindset of how these people are working, especially with fights too. And so that's why you see DAZN's being like, okay, if I put a guy like Logan Paul, KSI, Jake Paul on the card, what's gonna happen is some of these young people, they're gonna subscribe to the app just to see that one fight, but then they're gonna forget they have it, and now they're subscribed. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all about subscribing to the app, not necessarily subscribing to a fighter or being a fan of a fighter. Because before, pay-per-views were based off being a fan of a fighter, because you're buying it one at a time. If you're subscribing to an app, you're there for the whole month, and possibly more than that, because you know damn well it's hard. It's way easier to sign up for those subscriptions than to cancel them. When you're trying to cancel them, it's like, god damn, man. They do, man. They be knowing how to hack people in the blink of a second. They know how to sign up for shit in the blink of a second. They, you know what I'm saying? Because everything, like, think about the Xboxes, the PS4s, everything. It's all the same. So it's like everything, you know what I'm saying? You gotta. It's crazy. It's crazy as it sounds. Even though, you know what I'm saying, you never want to look at fighters like boxers who put their life on the line in the same aspect as if you like getting a video game. But that's how everyone's looking at it, because that's the future. That's how it's going. Exactly. And if you have a young audience when it comes to these YouTube dudes, how many of them are going to remember to unsubscribe, right? Not many. And you still are making a profit from pay-per-view from Sky Sports, right? Remember that. That's what I'm saying. So they're making money from that, and they're making money from Sky Sports. So it's all a profit. So it's like they be knowing exactly what they be doing, man. They be knowing exactly what they be doing, man. It's a long game for them. What I'm gonna do real quick, I'm gonna be right back, y'all. Gotta give me like a couple minutes, man. I got a little bathroom break real quick, man. But I'm gonna be right back, man. I had to run out on y'all for a minute, man. Sometimes you gotta handle your business, and I had to handle my business. But I feel like we was having a good conversation, but I'm not gonna get too long-winded, you know what I'm saying, on this particular conversation. I'm just happy I was able to talk about this topic because the previous live stream I was just talking about upcoming events that are coming up in the boxing community, and you know what I'm saying, I didn't have the greatest energy, and that's how it goes sometimes. But I have the greatest energy when it comes to topics I like to talk about, and this is definitely a topic I love to talk about, man. Because I feel like there's so many different perspectives when it comes to it. It's Snipers, man. I'm reading it right here. I'm back. You said your comment at the perfect time. If y'all ain't here, throw a like, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, man, we always have discussions like this. It means a lot. So what you saying, man? The KSI shit, I saw it because I used to like watching soccer, and KSI did too many FIFA shit. And I stopped watching him, and I heard he was fighting Logan Paul, the dude from the Suicide shit I heard about. The first fight, I didn't watch it because I heard about it when the Zone said something about it being on the Zone. So that's a lot of people, especially a lot of people who weren't interested in that particular bout, right? The only reason why they watched it was because it was being promoted by the Zone. And I'm just talking about like hardcore boxing fans, dudes who were into boxing. The only reason why they were maybe interested in watching that fight was because of that, right? But most of the kids watched it on the least. But see, most people don't realize that. You know what I'm saying? I had that live stream on Tevin Farmer being upset because he got moved under Jake Paul. Originally, it was supposed to be Tevin Farmer versus Coco Lopez, and it was supposed to be happen on Friday, not next Friday. And then it was supposed to be Demetrius Andrade versus Keeler happening the day before with Jake Paul on the undercard. Something happened where they ended up pushing that whole card together. They made Tevin Farmer the co-main event. Then they pushed Tevin Farmer recently under Jake Paul. They moved Jake Paul all the way up to the co-main event, right? And Tevin Farmer was saying he was upset about it. The dude interviewing said to Tevin Farmer, well, you know, the KSI versus Logan Paul 2 shit got like 1 million pay-per-view buys. And Tevin Farmer basically co-signed it saying, well, yeah, that makes sense. They did not get 1 million buys. That's the misconception. They believe just because these guys are YouTube guys, and they believe because they got 1 million buys on their first fight for $10 a pay-per-view buy, they did the same thing in the second fight. These guys barely got over 200,000 pay-per-view buys. And we're just talking about Sky Sports box office. That's all it was on for the pay-per-view buys, okay? So it's like they didn't even do a good number. But see, you wouldn't know that. You would have to look that shit up to find it, because the misconception is that they did do a good number. And now you have a guy like Jake Paul on co-main event over someone like Tevin Farmer, who originally he was built up and hyped up by Eddie Hearn himself. He was supposed to be the second coming. He was supposed to be the destroyer to Gervonta Davis. And now all of a sudden it's like, man, look at him now. I think he's on the last fight of his contract, where he has 1 or 2 fights left on his contract, and now look how Eddie Hearn's treating him. So it's fucked up, man. It's fucked up how the game goes sometimes. It's fucked up how it's like I get it, right? Shock value, especially in today's age. It's all about what's hot. But if it's not working, I hate that somehow there can be a narrative that either it did work or that it is working, or let's give it another try. And that's the only people who are suffering is really one, the boxing fans. Well, let me say this: the boxers who put their life on the line, and then 2, the boxing fans. And that's just me personally how I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not surprised. You know what? You know what, snipers? I'm surprised they did not make Jake Paul the main event. It probably took Eddie Hearn everything in his soul not to put Boo Boo down. But the only reason I feel like he didn't put Boo Boo down is because he's trying to get Boo Boo versus Canelo. He wants that fight bad, man. Because if he can get Boo Boo versus Canelo and Boo Boo can beat Canelo, Eddie Hearn has all the power, bro. He has Anthony Joshua and he has Boo Boo. Boo Boo, after beating Canelo, he has all the power. So that's his goal. So it doesn't surprise me, but it hurts my... So that's the only reason I say Boo Boo. But to do that to Tevin Farmer, bro, you know what that tells me? And I called it. They done with Tevin Farmer. They done. They gave up on Tevin Farmer. They know Tevin Farmer versus Gervonta is probably not going to happen, and so they're not investing in them anymore. Because I'm going to tell you right now, Tevin Farmer versus Coco Diaz, that's going to be a crazy fight. Diaz is a motherfucker, man. Y'all seen what just happens with Julian Williams and Rosario. And I didn't call it because I wanted Julian Williams to win, but I said Rosario is a motherfucking young motherfucker. And he has power. It's going to be a hard fight for Williams. It's going to be the same thing with Farmer. Diaz is a young dude. He's hungry. He has power. He comes forward. Farmer's going to have to be careful. You can't be lackadaisical. Because I do not believe Hearn believes in... It's not that he believes in him anymore, but he just doesn't believe there's a possibility of Farmer ever getting that Davis fight. And I don't blame him. God damn it. I don't blame him. It's a hard fight to get. You know what I'm saying? I see Davis versus Teofimo Lopez before that because Davis probably has more belief that he can beat Lopez. They used to spar together. So if you spar with someone, you have more belief you're going to because you know what I'm saying, you know him. If y'all in the chat, throw a like, man. Appreciate it. So you know what I'm saying? That should be getting me high. You see me, man? That should be getting me going. But you can see the whole basis of everything is just like, man, we was close to getting Jake Paul versus that dude over Boo Boo. It didn't happen strictly because they have the thought that Boo Boo has the possibility of dethroning Canelo. So that tells you that it all comes down to money. It comes down to streams. It comes down to who's popular. And a lot of times that's misrepresented in the media simply because what do you have to do? I'm going to go back to my man Bob Earl himself, man. You have to say things like this because you have to make people interested. You heard me? You have to make people, those who aren't interested, you have to make them interested. You see what I'm saying?
Why that fight won't equal or surpass the numbers that were done on the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. They're two little guys, great fighters, Mayweather, Pacquiao. It was built up for a lot of years.
Heard that? He said Tyson Fury 2 versus Wilder. Tyson Fury versus Wilder 2 will surpass Mayweather versus Pacquiao. That's two little guys built up. If Triple G beats Canelo, Eddie Hearn and Triple G promoter are getting a big payday, and many more because Triple G would arguably the best. But, and see that, you're right. You're completely right, it's Sniper. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about this right here. Because you are completely right. If Triple G beats Canelo, Eddie Hearn has all the power. But who has all the power right now? Canelo has all the power, correct? Which is why we're having a hard time getting Canelo versus Triple G while Triple G is still in his in his prime. Which is also why we're seeing Triple G not only fight Derevyanchenko, now he's fighting Serra. These are two tough fights for him, who are taking years off of his best years, right? 6-fight contract that Triple G's has. He's in his 3rd fight right now. His 4th fight will probably be later this year. So that means that Canelo can wait all the way until the end of next year, possibly the year after, until he wants that rematch with Triple G. What does that mean? Triple G may never get the shot at Canelo while he's still in his best possible shape or in his best possible ability to fight him, because Canelo has all the power because Triple G did choose to sign with the same promotional company that, you know what I'm saying, his opposition is in. That's why I believe personally why Deontay Wilder didn't sign with DAZN back when they offered him the contract to fight Anthony Joshua, because he knew, he's like, hey, you can promise me these fights, but when I sign the contract, you can give me whatever fight is available. And that's what happened with Triple G, because on his contract was reported, what they say what's been circulating is that a Canelo fight has been promised to him. Now see, the problem with that is when is the Canelo fight promised? Well, you won't get the Canelo fight sooner or later, but it might not be till the 6th fight. I'm gonna go live. Hell yeah, I'm going live for that card. I'm going live for that card because Tevin Farmer, I want to see the Tevin Farmer fight, because that's gonna be a hell of a fight. And then obviously Andrade is one of my favorite fighters, so I'm gonna be live for that. So the fact that they moved Jake Paul up to the co-main event, I'm gonna be watching the fight, even if he was on the undercard. Anthony Sims Jr., man, I'm a big fan of Anthony Sims Jr. He's an up and coming light heavyweight. He's beautiful when he's in the ring, man. So I was gonna watch him fight as well. So that card is already stacked in my opinion. So I was gonna watch it either way. It's gonna be interesting It's gonna be interesting seeing so many gifted fighters, so many beautiful technicians, and then randomly seeing Jake Paul at the co-main event fighting. I don't even know the dude he's fighting, man. And excuse me if that's I don't know. It's wild to me. So I'm gonna be watching it, but if y'all don't know too, that card's on a Thursday too. It's gonna be different. That card's on a Thursday. By the way, if y'all in the chat, man, go ahead, throw a like, subscribe if y'all ain't subscribed, man. It means a lot for the channel. But yeah, that card's on a Thursday. But I'm excited for a lot of the upcoming events, man. This weekend we have Danny Garcia fighting. We have Jarrett Hurd fighting. I know, right? Just put the whole thing. Just watching the Jake Paul fight, we probably gonna have 1 million views. But see, the only thing about that though, we gonna have a lot of people jumping into the chat room that don't know nothing about boxing. He's gonna be talking all that bullshit. I'm like, man, and see, that'd be my only problem with that. I don't understand how that shit ended up being a Thursday either. It makes no sense to me. I don't know who chose that, who said that was it. But it's like, remember, originally it was supposed to be Andrade on Thursday and then Farmer on Friday. But they ended up just putting the whole card together. So I don't know how that shit happened either. But it's going to be on a Thursday, so I'm excited for that. Garcia versus Ivan is going to be a good fight. You know what I'm saying? You got Hurd fighting Santana, I believe it is. That's going to be a good fight. So that's this weekend. So we got good boxing going on, man, for the next couple of weeks. For the next, you know what I'm saying? Until we got this. But ultimately, let me say this. Hold up. I know I played it 1 million times for y'all, but I'm going to play it one more goddamn time, because it's Bob Arum, y'all. That's a legend in the sport, man. He up there with Don King, goddammit.
That fight won't equal or surpass the numbers that were done on the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. There are two little guys, great fighters, Mayweather, Pacquiao. It was built up for a lot of years, but still they're not heavyweights. And they're not heavyweights of this kind of category and now of this notoriety.
It's snipers, bro. You know, bruh. You know, you gonna have motherfuckers, all these little motherfuckers all up in the screen. Like, Jake Paul, Like, but all right, man. We gonna try to make it work. Eddie Hearn knows best. I shouldn't question his genius. Hey, yeah, because remember, Zen, remember the Danny Jacobs fight. That shit was lowball random on Friday, but that shit was actually, like, I was like, man, I like this feel. So I actually applied Eddie Hearn being like, yo, I'm gonna try different days out. I kind of like that, because I think that's a good look. Because I'm like, we so used to boxing being on Saturday night and shit like that. I'm like, man, let's get a Friday night. Let's get a Thursday night. Like, I like that, man. I like that. Like, why not? If you can do it, why not? Because, I'm going to watch it. I know, go along with everything they saying. They say any type of bullshit. We going along with everything. Remember, y'all need to go ahead, throw a like, man. Throw a like, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? We in here, we talking. We see if Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury 2 can surpass Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz 2 pay-per-view numbers. We decided it's a possibility. It can happen. Because a lot of y'all try to be talking shit about Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury 2 original pay-per-view numbers trying to say they only got 300K. That's in my Cassidy voice. They only got 300K. Like, these niggas trying to say I ain't shit. Like, they say I only got 300K. Like these, they all stupid. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm the best at what I do. Like, Wilder and Fury got, you know what I'm saying? That's my Cassidy voice. Yeah, that's when the dude kissed the family. Remember, he was like, oh, we about to, that was against Billy Joe. Like, I remember now, it was against Billy Joe. He thought he was really about to beat him. He was like, oh, I'm about to kiss my family. And he came and he got his ass knocked out. The zone be clutch though, I swear to God. Just watch them when they be saying Jake Paul got the technique of Mayweather, cause that though. I hate when I be seeing that shit, bro. They really be saying, they be like, this nigga doing this shoulder roll, he about to You already know it's snipers. That's the first motherfucker they be going. That's the first. That's how it always go. That's how it always go. But so y'all know real quick. So y'all think I'm not just bullshitting. Anybody just popping in. I did cover this topic. We just kind of talking right now. I did cover this. There were 325,000 pay-per-view buys when it came to the U.S. 450,000 pay-per-view buys. And it took me a minute to find this right here. 450,000 buys in the UK. So they had about 800,000 buys compared to the 400,000 pay-per-view buys between AJ and Andy Ruiz. So, you know what I'm saying? That's how this so that's how this shit goes. So just so y'all know, see, I don't think I'm just in here bullshitting. I covered this goddamn topic. So there it is. So any of y'all trying to shit on Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, or any of y'all trying to shit on Old Man Bob, man. Old Man Bob. Can I play it one more time, y'all? Like, man, I'm tired of hearing this old ass motherfucker. Look, the reason why I salute Old Man Bob is because he's 85, 86 years old, man, out here. He's really, and not only is he still trying to change the game, man. Oh, it's snipers trying to shoot. Hey, Zia, you in the chat, you see that? It's snipers trying to shoot on you. He's trying to, I didn't even know they lost either. I thought the Lakers probably won. So they took an L, man. Where you at, Zia? You gotta let him know, man. I'm pretty sure he's soaking, man. He's soaking. But I give Bob Aaron this. He's an 86-year-old motherfucker, and he's still trying to renovate the game, man. He's still out here. He say Eddie Hearn in his prime, man. He's like, I'm trying to be like Eddie Hearn out here. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Or I'm not gonna let Eddie Hearn show me up. That's how I feel like Bob is. Like, I'm about to play this one more time for y'all.
Won't equal or surpass the numbers that were done on the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. They're two little guys.
They're two little guys. Why is Bob so fixated on that they two little guys, man? Does that matter anymore? Someone tell me. I'm gonna play this again for y'all. Here we go. Deontay.
This is the biggest heavyweight fight in recent history. Here we go again. Shots fired. I'm going in. Sending them over and over. This fight is a draw.
Throw a like. Y'all in here, throw a like, man. 32-point L.
Wilder Fury 2, February 22nd, on pay-per-view.
Andy Willis, man, what's good with it, man? I feel the same way, man. But we got some good, man. I think 2020 is probably gonna be like, man, I'm excited for 2020. One, because I can talk about the goddamn fights. Two, because I can watch the goddamn fights. Three, because I feel like I think we about to see a revelation, man, when it comes to boxing, man. And it's gonna start with this right here. Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. I think in the future we're gonna see Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? That's a fight a lot of people want to see. I think in the future, man, we're gonna see Canelo versus Andrade. That's what I want to know. Who y'all think gonna win it between that? Canelo versus Demetrius Andrade. How many of y'all think Canelo can beat Andrade? How many of y'all think Andrade can beat Canelo, man? That's what I want to know, nigga. But I think this is a year for boxing, man. If y'all want to see the greatest fights, I think we're going to see a lot of good things, man. I can't wait. We already got Usyk and Anthony Joshua for Saudi Arabia in the works. Oscar Rivas versus Andy Ruiz might be happening. Wilder, I got Wilder too, man. If y'all in the chat, man, throw a like, y'all. Throw a like. Hop in the chat too, man. Hop in the chat, man. Throw your opinion, man. That's what we about. Throw your opinion, man. Get up in it. Braun got dunked on. You a liar. I'm probably late than a motherfucker. Braun got dunked on. That's crazy. Who dunked on him? Boo Boo all day. I got Boo Boo against Canelo too. Boo Boo all day. But we Boo Boo fans over here, so we biased. So we gonna say Boo Boo all the time. Let me go up over here, man. I can't believe Julian Williams lost against Rosario, y'all. That shit really hurt my soul, man. I don't like that, nah. Jaylen Brown dunked on. Nah, bro, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Hold up. Oh, man. Why y'all tell me that, man? Y'all got me over here on some other shit. What? Joshua versus Usyk might be happening. Yes, Anthony Willis. That is a very big possibility, brother. Oh! Hey, that was not. Oh, nah, that was. Oh, nah, bro. Nah, that was nah. Hey, nah. That was weak. Fuck that shit, man. That shit was weak. They lost by 20 something. Fuck all that, man. Andy Willis, you said Joshua versus Usyk happening, so he not taking on. Nah, Pulev, man. He left out there in the. He like the side chick, man. Pulev like the side chick right now, trying to get some action in, man. But Usyk and Joshua out here tangoing on the main dance floor.
Hey, this is Tyson Fury, aka the Gypsy King, and I'm checking in from Paradise, Nevada. And it would seem that I'm in a hot tub with palm trees and blue skies, Las Vegas, living the dream, Rolex on, sunglasses on, pimping. But in reality, not on Instagram, I'm in a grueling training camp, and really it's boring, repetitive every day. But Instagram would make me believe that I'm having the whale of a time, enjoying myself, living the dream, everything's fantastic. But in reality, I'm getting worked to the bone every single day. I'm getting smashed session after session. I'm in the recovery pool because my joints are smashed and I need the recovery. So whatever you see on Instagram, whatever other people's lives that you're trying to influence and take things from, remember this: the grass is not always greener on the other side. And anything good in life comes from hard work.
It's crazy. He cut off his own video. I have my finger pointed out at snipers because I was agreeing with you completely. You're right. The side chick usually does get the most action. You're right. But then, see, that goes hand in hand. The side chick gets the most action, but they end up like Tyson Fury. They end up sparred because their joints fucked up. They don't got longevity. They just been through so much damage. They don't know how to get through it. Should be hurting. He was lowball, sounded like he was going through some pain in that damn jacuzzi. That nigga was sounding like, damn, nigga, like, I'm an old man right now.
Hi, this is Tyson Fury. Just a quick update to everybody. I've been inundated with people asking for tickets and can I get a mould of tickets and whatever. I've been allocated 8 tickets for this fight myself. I have no control on tickets. I have no input on tickets. I have nothing to do with tickets. Anybody wanting tickets, go online or do whatever you can to get them, because I have none. I have none for myself. I've been given 8 tickets. I have to buy. I need 50 tickets that I've got to pay for myself. So anybody wanting tickets, don't ask me, don't contact me about tickets. Thank you very much.
He's saying that Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury is motherfucking sold out. How many of y'all believe that? Now I said there's potential that they gonna motherfucking sell more than AJ versus Andy Ruiz. I want to be real, man. Be real with me, y'all. Y'all think it's gonna be a close fight? Is it gonna be worth it?
You think you can do this to me? I'm the man up in this piece. King Kong ain't got on me.
Niggas be crazy, man.
Heather needs to get back in the center as King Kong. Cross forward, a right hand, down goes Ortiz. Oh my!
Hey, that look was the craziest shit in the world, man. That Ortiz look when that nigga was on the floor, the way that nigga just looked up, that shit was crazy, man. That nigga looked like he saw the crazy. That nigga looked like he saw the craziest shit when that nigga was on the ground and he was looking up. He looked like that nigga saw Jesus. That, bro, I think the same shit, bro. I really think Tyson Fury about to really get his ass knocked out. Like, Deontay Wilder is crazy in his rematches, man. Look at this shit, man. God damn.
What's up? This is your boy Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, and this is my replay KO with
throw a
the
goddamn like,
knockout.
goddamn it, if y'all ain't throw the like, man. Like the video, man. It helps,
It's one of
goddamn
my
it.
favorite knockouts so far. But I'm about to get ready to ding, you know, you shake out the little kinks you have on you. Bell ring, the whole game changes now. One thing about Dominic Brazil, I wanted to make sure I establish, you know, my pace and allow him to fight my game instead of me fighting his game. Being very patient, watching openings. And there we were just fooling around. And I saw one big opening with the right hand. Give him a little taster. He was already hesitant. He was already nervous. And I could sense all that. He already had fear. I could sense all that. He's going to hit me with a little shot that he closed his eyes. And it's like a get back shot. Get back.
Oh, that was a right hand,
Thinking
though.
about my next move right here. You know, I see
That was a
opening.
right hand, though.
Just waiting on the ref to do his thing, get that little time. Here, I'm just giving space. I'm figuring out. I'm calculating everything that I need to calculate because I see something. And
Here we
I'm
go.
gonna
I
see
just
it
got to
again.
show. I can't
And when the
stop
referee
it
breaks
too
it
early
up,
because I'm going to make sure y'all see
it's
this.
wide open.
Oh!
And that shot right there was just all set up. I set him up from the whole get-go. He didn't want to commit. And when I saw the hands go down and come back up, it was just too slow.
Oh,
Wide
that's
open.
nasty, man. Anthony Willis said, if Fury wasn't 100 in the first fight, it should be a good one because, you know, Wilder scopes out his opposition. The reason why I have Wilder is not because of boxing technique. And his snipers, man, come up in here, man. You know what I'm saying? This man was undefeated, man. So come up in here, man. Put your advice on his what thing. It's not because he's it's not because of his technique. It's not because of how good he is. But it's the fact that Wilder has unprecedented power. Power that you've never seen before. Not only does he have power, but he's getting better by the minute. A lot of people don't think Deontay Wilder's getting better because of his age, right? Because Deontay Wilder's about 34 years old. But he started late in the game. So he's still getting better. Not only is he getting better, but I can also argue the fact that when it comes to Tyson Fury, that not only is Deontay Wilder getting better at what he's doing, but his scope, his ability to read the situation when it comes to Wilder, his ability to read what's going on in the ring, it surpassed the level that a lot of people suspected him to pass. But okay, that's not what I was getting at. Okay, I was kind of talking a little bit of bullshit right there because I kind of forgot my point. But here's my point right here: is that not only is he getting better in the ring, but also the fact that because he has power, it separates him from his boxing ability because the fact that he has power, it can cancel out the fact that a lot of people feel like he doesn't necessarily has the fundamentals that he needs, right? Not only that he's getting better because he started later in the game. There was another goddamn point, but I can't remember my goddamn point, so I'm not even gonna act bougie with it and act like a nigga really remember. So I'm gonna lay on those two. And if I remember my third point, I'm gonna come at my third point, because that wasn't my banger. Because I was gonna hit y'all with a banger. If y'all in the chat, man, throw a goddamn like, man. Throw a like and throw your opinion in, man, because we rocking here. Because I was gonna stop earlier, but I'm like, man, y'all rocking in the chat, man. Throw in the chat, man. How y'all feeling about it, man? We gonna roll up over here, man. Young Deontay Wilder, man. Look at that. No. Let me throw this right here. So we got young Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder 2 happening February 22nd. There is a big possibility that they will do bigger numbers than Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz 2, even though a lot of people think that is not even close to happening, because a lot of people have the perception that Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury 1 only did 300K, and Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz did over $1 million. How true that is? Yes, it's true to an extent. Once again, if you're in the chat, please throw a like, subscribe to the channel. It means a lot. Throw a like, subscribe. But yes, to an extent you are right, but to an extent you also are wrong, because when it comes to Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury fight, we are only counting what he did in the USA. We are not counting what he did also in the UK. If we're talking about what he did in the UK as well, then we have to talk about these numbers as well. Fury versus Wilder did 450K. Okay? 450K. It's all good, last one, man. I know it's all good, last one, man. You here just in time. But Fury versus Wilder did 450K in the UK. So if Fury versus Wilder did 450K in the UK, excuse me, and in the US they did 325,000, what does that come out to? That comes out to over 800,000 pay-per-view buys. Close to 1 million pay-per-view buys for Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. So when we hear this,
why that fight won't equal or surpass the numbers that were done on the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. There are two little guys, great fighters, Mayweather, Pacquiao. It was built up for a lot of years.
when we see this, Bob Arum says Wilder vs. Fury 2 should gross 2 million pay-per-view buys, and most people want to say that is not even a possibility, because most people do not like Deontay Wilder or feel like he's some type of draw. You have to understand, when we look at the numbers, that disproves the fact. Because when we look at Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz Jr. 1, they only did 403 pay-per-view buys in the UK. That's it. So if you want to be fair and you want to compare the first pay-per-view buys when it comes to Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz and Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder, and specifically, technically, Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury did more pay-per-view buys than Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz Jr. In the second fight, there's speculation that they did over 2 million buys. They did not do over 2 million buys, people. They did just over 1.8, okay? So merging AJ versus Parker between March and first week being a massive total of 1.8 million buys, okay? So basically, Joshua versus Ruiz broke the record, but only if you add the following views. If you do this, then Joshua versus Klitschko hit 1.8 after the week. So technically, they got 1.57, but if you want to add everything in it, they probably got about 1.6 to 1.7 million total pay-per-view buys, okay? So is there a possibility that Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury 2 can do more pay-per-view buys than AJ versus Ruiz 2? Yes. And you have to remember that AJ versus Ruiz 2 is an anomaly to the sense that people expected. People bought that pay-per-view to see AJ lose again. Think about how many people thought Ruiz would beat AJ again. Think about how many predictions there was. What do you mean by that? Is snipers? Did you know that Triple D is the highest paid boxer in the fight of their career? What do you mean by that? It's snipers? Expand. Because Canelo will argue with that. Canelo will argue with that particular statement. Oh, ever since 2017, 2016. Now, see that statement, I can believe that. If you want to talk about total earnings, I can believe that. But it's hard for me to believe Triple G because see, you're thinking about the $100 million contract. There's different ways you can break that down as snipers, because you can think about his previous contract and then you can think about his current contract, which is, it shows the total amount, but remember, per fight he won't receive the amount of money until the end of fight. He won't receive the amount of money that he is guaranteed until the end of the fight. You see what I'm saying? Technically, Anthony Joshua really has earned more money per fight. So if you want to talk about purses, if we're talking about the highest purse per fight, Anthony Joshua, he blows everyone out the water. But if you want to talk about contract wise, I'm gonna sign 4 fights for $100 million. Canelo, I'm gonna sign 8 fights for $350 million. Then yes, they're the highest paid boxers. But if you want to talk about per fight purses, whether just being handed, AJ would be the man. Anthony Willis, I'm old school, and to be real, Wilder versus Fury, this doesn't have the anticipation of fights such as Tyson versus Holyfield or Tyson versus Lewis. And Anthony Willis, that's a great point, because what's crazy about that point is because a lot of people are comparing Wilder versus Fury to Tyson versus Lewis simply because of this right here. ESPN Fox joins forces, and the last time you saw a co-promotional event similar to what you're going to see against Tyson Fury versus Wilder was Mike Tyson versus Lennox Lewis, right? So a lot of people are comparing that time versus this time right here, because you do not see this a lot. This is also Bob Arum is saying because of this, you were going to see a lot more of Al Heyman and Bob Arum working together as well. How true is that? I don't know. Remember, if you guys are in the chat, please drop a like, drop a like, drop a like. The likes mean everything at the very least. If you're not going to drop a like, subscribe, goddammit. But at the very least, this right here, ESPN and Fox, the fact that they're joining forces, it does not happen a lot. And so this is something that has to be celebrated. But at the same time, it is going to be worth it. Because I'm like, if you're saying, okay, the anticipation for Tyson versus Lewis is, you know what I'm saying, is astronomical. I think Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury can have either the same hype or more, but it comes down to the promotion. And I think this comes back to what I was talking about maybe 15 to 20 minutes ago. The promotion is subpar. The promotion is terrible, in my opinion. We've had one press conference and we're literally a month away from the actual fight happening. How was that even accepted? You have Bob Arum saying this is going to be bigger than Mayweather versus Pacquiao with no promotion. How is that even possible? That doesn't even make sense to me. Why is the promotion lackluster? If we look at the press conference, the press conference 2 compared to what the press conference was the first time is subpar. The views though, the views are on point. So you have to respect that. So you can see here, so look at this. BT Sport full. Like, so see, I was going to show a press conference first, but actually it's better to look at the numbers. This gives you a better idea. So this is BT Sport. 737K views a year ago from the first Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury press conference. Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury final press conference, 814K. So from a week ago, BT Sport got 312 views from the recent Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder press conference. So what does this mean? Part of this might mean, hey, yo, Fluent, shut your ass up. Because it seems like the second fight is already on pace for being more popular than the first fight without the same type of promotion. So does that mean the less amount of promotion, it may work better? It's doing like a Bad Boys 4 type, Bad Boys 3 type recipe. All right, we're not going to show everything in the trailers, so when you actually see the actual movie, you're going to be surprised. Because it is on pace. is on pace to be bigger than the first press conference. What does that mean?
It dies. It's dead. This is a new beginning right here. This is unfinished business that I will finish. I will do exactly what I said I would do. I'm gonna knock him out. Like I told him, I'm the lion, I'm the king of the jungle. And come February 27th, I'm gonna rip his head off his body. Remember I said that, I'm gonna knock you out them ropes. So you can really feel a WWE moment in real life.
Ha! You say you gonna rip that motherfucker head off, nigga.
Maybe Lennox Lewis versus Mike Tyson was the last big fight like this. That was the last US UK showdown.
Look, he just said it. I just said that. God damn it.
Deontay Wilder took a bit of my advice on his dress sense. I can see he's looking well, smart.
Tyson Fury apparently ain't calling him a Dawson.
Really, you know, there's not much I can say.
Not more subtle.
For the first time in my boxing career, I don't need to sell this fight. People know what they're going to get.
Look, he said
it says
himself.
exactly what it says on the tin. You're going to get a good fight. Whether I think the consensus is either he knocks me out or I win on points. Is that's what's been going around? Either Fury wins on points.
So the energy is completely different when it comes to this particular fight. Remember, if y'all in the chat and you haven't thrown a like, please throw a like. It means a lot. But the energy is completely different. Tyson Fury was a lot more sporadic, if that makes sense. He talked a lot more shit. He jumped up and down a lot more. He was like, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me. This fight needs to be sold. Check me out. I need to sell this fight. Where this fight is a lot more calm, cool, and collective. And you can see Wilder is always who Wilder is. You know what I'm saying? Chilling. Man, if he come out to LL Cool J, man, it would make sense. You see him, like, just seeing those two, like, side by side, like, Wilder is cool, calm, and collected. He like, man, I'm focused. And Fury, I can tell he's focused, too. One thing about the rumors that are coming to Fury's side, I don't appreciate the rumors where they're saying that him trading training camps this close to the fight is bad. I don't particularly see it as something that's bad. I see it more so as maybe he felt like he got to the point in his training where he didn't see improvements, and so he switched, knowing he had someone in the back pocket that would be able to take him to the peak he needed to. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But that's me personally. However y'all feel about it, y'all feel about it. But that's how I feel about it. I don't think it's bad in no type of way. But at the end of the day, I'm going to still choose who I choose. And I feel like Wilder has the upper hand. So it's going to be a hell of a fight, man. I can't wait for the goddamn fight. How y'all feel about it, man? Throw your goddamn suggestions in the goddamn chat room, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go too much longer, guys. I appreciate y'all being here. If y'all in here and you haven't thrown a like, please like the channel, man. It means a lot. We coming out with you with all type of topics. This is the second stream. So the first stream, I did basically the current events of boxing and what's going on. This one is simply me discussing a topic that I like to discuss about. And I see y'all rocking with it, and I can see that's what y'all fuck with. That's what I fuck with, goddammit. And we came to the conclusion that there is a big possibility that Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury can surpass the Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz 2 numbers, but it all comes down to promotion. And originally I was saying the promotion was low. I was saying I wasn't liking the promotion, but the promotion has been, when you look at the numbers, people are excited for this fight. Now what they do with the excitement, that's the question, right? That's what we need to see. What they do with the excitement, that's what's going to be interesting.
Hey, this is Tyson Fury. This is a special message from Deontay Wilder, the big dosser. He's going around saying he fights all the best heavyweights, but Dominic Brazil ain't no best heavyweight, and neither is Luis Ortiz. Dominic Brazil's average at best, and the other guy, Luis Ortiz, is average at best. 145 years old. Someone you already knocked out, you bum. You go around fighting the bestie, giving them bestie opportunities. You've only fought one good man in your career, and that's me, and I beat you. And everybody in the world knows that you lost to the Gypsy King. A half-mass Gypsy King. A Gypsy King that was out of the ring for a year. Still beat you. On 50%. You're getting busted next time I meet you. I'll have everything I've got on it. I beat you, Dosser. I ain't afraid of you. I ain't bothered about you, bum. I wasn't bothered about you back then, and I definitely ain't bothered about you now. You big Dosser. You're getting it. You big Dosser. You know you lost, your trainer knows you lost, your manager, your promoter, your wife, your kids. They all know the Gypsy King Bettinger coming for your pussy.
Damn, he called him a pussy. That's fucked up. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, Ortiz not the best heavyweight. Like, all right, bet. And then you gonna call him a pussy? Like, all right, okay, I guess. I ain't gonna play the music because I ain't trying to get copywritten. So let's see what this is here.
Squad!
That's Wilder's response to everything that Fury just said. That's all he got to say right there.
Hello, everyone. This is Deontay Wilder, WBC heavyweight champion of the
Throw a
world.
like, goddammit.
I
If
just
y'all
want to
throw a like,
salute
throw a
all
like.
my veterans
That means a lot,
who
man.
have proudly
Come on,
served
please.
this country. I'm wishing you guys many, many blessings and more. And thank you so much.
Squad!
What y'all think, man? Y'all think Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder got a chance of having more pay-per-view numbers than AJ versus Ruiz? Is that a possibility? Or do you think AJ is just king, man? There's no way to touch AJ's numbers, man. Even with the L that he took, man, it don't matter, man. Can't touch him.
Welcome to the gym.
Thank you very much.
I don't set targets because I feel that there's a cap on it, and I don't fall too low.
Throw a like, goddammit.
Bottom is a long climb up. So when I just keep myself balanced, I can just keep on moving through life content. This is just something where I feel characteristics and positive things and affirmations happen in your life when you open up a bit more. So always remember that you're a representation of your family name. When you're out there living your best life and doing your thing, just remember that you are part of a family, you're part of
Like she
a
ready to
lineage.
risk it all. Alright, AJ. I hear you, man. AJ the kid.
Not every day is going to be sunshine and rainbows. Loose and heavy. Rhythm and flow. Do not let success get to your head.
And don't let failures get to your heart. If you correct your wrongs and don't shy away from them,
You can always come back. The first time was so nice, I had to do it twice.
be more, do more.
BulkPowders.com.
So Young Zen said, yeah. Last one said, I don't think it does, but it would do better than the first fight, 100%. I'm in between. I think it just all depends on the promotion because I think there's still time for Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury to actually really do something when it comes to promotion and make it bigger than what it already is. I feel like there's a lot of time in between that for it to happen. So there is definitely a possibility that it ends up being bigger than AJ versus Andy Ruiz. We just have to see it, right? Something has to happen. But if we continue to get this same tone that we're getting right here in this press conference,
So Wilder wins by KO. And usually when people have that opinion, it usually goes the opposite way around. So yeah.
if we keep getting that same tone, then I don't believe it's going to surpass AJ versus Andy Ruiz, because the only reason AJ versus Andy Ruiz did the numbers that it did was simply because there was a lot of people who wanted to see AJ not come back and be AJ, right? I believe that was an anomaly, and that's the same reason why we saw AJ versus Klitschko, because a lot of people thought AJ was going to lose to Klitschko. So it's the losing factor. I think this right here, there's not too many people who care who particularly wins or who loses, right? If Wilder beats Fury, everyone's like, aight. And if Fury beats Wilder, everyone's like, aight. No one's really like, oh, I want to see Wilder lose. No one's really like, oh, I want to see Fury lose, right? Neither of them are on that popularity level of AJ where people really want to see AJ lose. And Big Baby Miller will. And I think this year is a big year when it comes to Top Rank boxing, period. I'm probably gonna have a live stream about that, because last year was about DAZN, but I think this year Top Rank is really gonna come into play when it comes to the heavyweight division, because you can see they're making moves, man. They're making moves, and so I see some things gonna happen. It will be. I agree with that last one. I totally agree with that. But we're going to see. We're going to see, man. It's going to come down. Like, we're going to see what's going to happen in the next month, because we still got a month until the fight happens. So there can be a lot of things that can happen in between that time. But if it continues to go the way it goes, it's hard for me to see this getting even more than 1 million pay-per-view buys. It's hard. Remember, if y'all in the chat, throw a like, man. A like means a lot, y'all. So if y'all got any final says on this particular topic, man, go ahead and drop it. Let me know what y'all thinking, man. If not, I'm probably gonna head out pretty soon, man. It's getting late out here, man. So if y'all got anything to say, go ahead, drop it below in the chat. Drop a like, subscribe. If y'all ain't subscribed, it means a lot, man.
When I became champion, the table was filled with contenders, each trying to take my crown.
And that is one scary individual in the heavyweight division.
One by one, they stepped up, and I knocked them down.
Good morning, good evening, and good night.
From the undefeated, the young up-and-comer, the rugged vet. Every single contender felt the power. Now, a past contender rises from the ashes with hope that he will get it right the second time around.
Have a rematch right there, y'all. But all right, man. I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. All right, last one. What's your prediction for the fight? So we're talking about Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. My prediction for Wilder versus Fury, I don't want to give you guys a concrete prediction because I want to do that more towards when the fight is going, but I am definitely leaning toward Wilder. The reason why I'm leaning toward Wilder is because I feel like Wilder can improve in so many more areas than Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury has to box perfect for 12 rounds, which he was doing in the first fight, but I believe that's why he ended up changing. Yeah, he pushing a bit, but you know it's all part of promotion. He got to promote a little bit, but but Fury, he has to fight perfect for 12 rounds, and the reason he switched trainers because I felt like in the first fight he was fighting perfect for a majority of his rounds, but because the trainer he was under he didn't really respect to the level that he should respect, he allowed himself to be in position that he shouldn't have been, which allowed himself to get caught by things he shouldn't have been caught. So now he's with Sugar Hill, and I feel like hopefully that will allow Tyson Fury to be a lot more respectful, and it won't allow him to put himself in position like ducking his head real low or maybe showboating and things like that at times when it's never good to showboat or to feel like you're winning against a power puncher. You've seen it with Tony Harrison. Tony Harrison should have won that fight, but when you showboat or you act like you really got it in the bag against a power puncher, that can always end up biting you in the ass because all it takes is one punch when it comes to someone with power. So hopefully he learns from that. But my prediction at the end of the day, I know that was long-winded, I do got Deontay Wilder winning in the rematch. I do believe that's going to happen. That's how it's going to go down. So that's how I feel, yo. Tomorrow, I'm not sure. I'm not going to make y'all any promises I'm going to go live tomorrow, but I may. You feel me? But I appreciate y'all joining this live. I did 2 live streams today. I did a current events live on the fact that Triple G versus Sarah Zameta is most likely done for March 28th. And then also other big news like Oscar Rivas is signing with Top Rank. So we might see Oscar Rivas versus Andy Ruiz. And then also Tyson Fury saying he wants one of his last fights to be against Dillian White. So if y'all are interested in that, make sure y'all check out that video. This video was strictly about a topic that I wanted to talk about, kind of just freestyle about. So I appreciate y'all being in here. If y'all here, y'all ain't throwing a like, throw a like. But I'm about to end this video, so I appreciate all of y'all. Right here, I'm gonna show this real quick, and we're gonna get up out of here, man.
Hey, what's up, baby? This your boy Deontay, the Bronze Button Wilder, WBC heavyweight champion of the world. And I'll be answering your questions right after this session. Stay tuned, baby.
All right, y'all. Show y'all one more thing, man.
He is the baddest man on the planet for a reason. He is Deontay Wilder. Wow, what a finish. My goodness, Luis Ortiz.
I respect him. But that's not gonna deter me from wanting to beat this man, wanting to whoop his ass.
Good, way to work.
Y todo, sí me siento bastante excitado por la pelea. Mi trabajo es salir a destruir a mi oponente.
When you get ready to sit down and watch Deontay.
All right, they had that shit going like it was a superhero movie. But shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Means a lot y'all was watching, man. As always, I'm gonna try and come every day with some new boxing topics. If not every day, every other day. This weekend we got Danny Garcia fighting, we got Jarrett Hurd fighting, Junior Dos Santos versus Curtis Blades is happening, so we go on live stream for that. If y'all don't know